I've met some incredible people on the show, and everybody has a story. And we wanted to know more about the journey of how'd you get here? From people having impact in our community. We kick things off with a familiar face around South Bend who has a heart for turning things around to create lasting change. Good morning, Lynn Coleman, and welcome to Hometown Living.
Good morning.
Thank you for being, I'm good. I'm so excited you get to kick this segment off.
Oh my goodness, thank you for having me.
So it really is about how did you get here, right? Because people see you as this established standout in our community, but it didn't start out like that. And there's been a journey. So talk to me a little bit about the education that you had to get you to this point.
First of all, thank you for having me here. It means more than you know. How did I get here? The education that, first of all, I tell people all the time, education is not just reading, writing, and arithmetic. Education is life lessons learned, experiences that you go through, good and or bad, and you take that and it begins to mold who you are and what you are and what you do. And it's been a phenomenal journey for me. And I didn't realize it at the time, but it was not me, it was other people that poured into my life. People like Mr. Bob Megan, who was an assistant principal at Washington High School when I graduated, a football coach when I was a freshman in high school. It was people like Pastor Dave Davis, who inspired me and showed me and made me believe that I could. The Charles Martins and Charles Blacks and people like that that were examples for me. And obviously my family, my parents, my mother and father. But for me, it was more outside of home than it was inside of home. And so people that made me think that I could. People that gave me a break, an opportunity. Mr. Jerome Perkins, who was an assistant chief on the police department when I first met him, before I became a police, who introduced me to law enforcement through security. And so the list goes on and on and on. And you don't realize it at the time, but then you look back and if it hadn't been for him, or if she hadn't did what she did, the chances of me being where I am today is slim to none. So,
when did you know that you wanted to be a police officer?
I didn't know initially. It was never my thought, an ideal of being a police officer when I was a young kid. I became a police officer after Mr. Perkins gave me an opportunity to work security for Public Housing Authority. And after I did the security job, I realized that it was a good opportunity for me to work with young people, to work with kids and try to make a difference. And so I got hired in '77 on the police department, and I realized in '76 that that would be a good opportunity for me. And so, and things just lined up. 3 years before that, I had major back surgery. And so there was no inkling that one day I would be a cop. And plus, my lifestyle before that was not very good.
Not conducive?
Yes, not at all to being a police officer. But I think, and I live by the motto now that if you do right for the right reasons, right things will happen. And so I just began to try to do right, and it just sort of fell in place, and lo and behold, here we are. And I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And I tell young people all the time that it's important to start preparing for that, because one day you'll wake up and you won't be 15 anymore. You won't be 16 anymore. But if you don't plan to be 30, if you don't plan to be 35, when you get there, you'll be lost. And so it's extremely important.
If your life was a soundtrack, what would the song be?
Grateful. Oh, how grateful I am. It could have been a lot worse than this. And from when I first started life as a young teenager, growing up on the far west side of town, what we call the lake, If somebody had told me at 17, at 18 years old that here today I'd be sitting here talking to you, I would have never believed it. And so I'm grateful, extremely grateful.
What's your big dream?
My big dream is to help somebody, to have some kid come up to me one day and say, Mr. Coleman, thank you. That because you did what you did or gave me what you gave me, here I am today. And just like I pay, homage and respect to those that made a way for me, I'd like to be, remembered as somebody that tried to help someone else.
I love that. And you actually have a nonprofit now.
We do. My wife and I created what we call Let's Turn It Around.
I love that.
It's a backwards heart that's broke. And the thought of it is if you turn that image around, it forms a heart. A heart represents love. And when we begin to love each other as human beings, not black and white and Asian and Hispanic, not rich or poor, east side or west side, or Baptist, Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, it doesn't matter. As human beings, when we begin to love each other and treat each other as human beings, we fix a lot of the problems that we face in this world. You don't hurt those that you love.
That's right.
And it's simple. It's good morning and thank you and have a nice day and I appreciate you and I'm sorry, forgive me. And embrace each other instead of, pushing at each other. We make life a lot better, not only for ourselves, but for others around.
And I think that's exactly what you've done as a standout in our community.
So we try to I try to live by that every day.
Well, thank you.
Thank
you for being here, and thank you for being the one to kick off the segment for
Oh my
us.
goodness, thank you so very,
Thank
very
you.
much. I appreciate it, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
More hometown living when we return.